Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Talk Podcast. I'm Isabella.
And I'm Patrick. We're so excited to have you join us today. If you've ever felt nervous starting or maintaining a conversation in English, then this episode is just for you.
Exactly, Patrick. Conversations are the foundation of communication, whether you're making friends, networking at work, or just ordering your favorite coffee. And here's the thing. Being great at conversations isn't just about knowing the right words. It's about connection and confidence.
We've all been there. That moment where you want to say something but freeze up, or you don't know how to keep the dialogue flowing. But don't worry, we've got you covered.
In today's episode, we're diving into the fascinating world of conversation skills. We'll break it all down. What makes a conversation engaging and meaningful? The challenges we all face, like running out of things to say or feeling awkward. And the best part? We'll give you practical tips and even a fun mini practice session to boost your confidence.
We're also going to explore the power of active listening and open-ended questions, two skills that can completely transform how you connect with others. Plus, we'll share some common mistakes to avoid so you can feel more at ease in any conversation.
Oh, and don't forget, we'll end with some creative ways to practice your conversation skills, whether you're at home, in a group, or even on your own.
So stick around, grab your favorite drink, and let's talk about, talking.
Let's get started.
All right, let's jump into what makes a conversation truly great. Have you ever wondered why some conversations feel so natural and engaging, while others feel like you're pulling teeth?
Oh, absolutely, Patrick. A great conversation has a flow, a rhythm, and most importantly, a connection between the people involved. But what are the key ingredients?
First up, let's talk about confidence. Starting a conversation in English might feel intimidating, but here's a secret. Most people are just happy you're trying. Confidence isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up and being open to connecting.
Exactly. Think of it like this. If you stumble on a word or phrase, it's not the end of the world. In fact, many people appreciate the effort you're putting in. And remember, confidence grows with practice.
The second foundation is active listening. And by active, we mean really paying attention to what the other person is saying. It's not just about hearing words, it's about understanding the emotions and ideas behind them.
Yes, and active listening shows that you value the other person's input. Simple cues like nodding, making eye contact, or saying, "I see," or "that's interesting," go a long way. It also helps you stay present in the moment.
Another major factor, asking questions. And not just any questions, we're talking about open-ended ones.
Right. Instead of asking, "Do you like traveling?" you could say, "What's the most memorable place you've ever traveled to?" This invites the other person to share more, making the conversation richer.
It's like opening a door to a deeper connection. The more specific and engaging your questions, the more likely the other person is to respond enthusiastically.
Let's try a little role play. Patrick, imagine we're meeting for the first time at a coffee shop. I'll start.
All right, let's do it.
Hi, I couldn't help but notice you're reading that book by Malcolm Gladwell. I love his work.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, this one is Outliers. Have you read it?
Yes, I did. I found the part about the 10,000-hour rule so fascinating. What do you think about it?
It's super interesting. It made me rethink how much practice and effort really go into success.
Exactly. Are you into psychology and personal development books?
I am. What about you?
Definitely. I just finished one called Atomic Habits. Have you heard of it?
I have. I've been meaning to read that.
See? A natural flow of conversation driven by curiosity and shared interests.
And that brings us to our final point for this part. Be genuine. People can sense when you're being authentic, and it makes the conversation more enjoyable for both sides.
Totally. Share your interests, opinions, and experiences, but remember to stay open to learning about the other person, too.
All right. Now that we've laid the foundation, let's move on to the challenges people often face in conversations and how to overcome them. Stay tuned.
Now that we've explored the foundations of great conversations, let's talk about something everyone encounters. Challenges. Whether it's running out of things to say, feeling shy, struggling with accents, or navigating cultural differences, these hurdles are completely normal. The good news, with the right tools and mindset, they're entirely manageable.
Let's start with a situation we've all been in. That awkward moment when the conversation hits a dead end and you're scrambling for words. It can be so uncomfortable.
Oh, absolutely. It feels like your brain just went on vacation, right? But here's the thing. Conversations don't always have to flow perfectly. It's okay to pause and gather your thoughts.
That's true. One great tip is to prepare a mental list of safe topics you can fall back on. Think about universal themes like travel, hobbies, food, or even current events. For example, you might ask, "Have you been on any fun trips lately?" Or, "What's the best meal you've had recently?"
And don't forget to focus on the person you're talking to. People love to share about themselves, so ask open-ended questions. Instead of, "Do you like music?" try, "What's the last concert you went to?" That way, the conversation naturally expands.
Right, and if you're still stuck, you can comment on your surroundings. Something as simple as, "This coffee shop has such a cozy vibe, doesn't it?" can restart a stalled chat.
That's such a good point, Patrick. And let's normalize silence, too. A brief pause doesn't mean the conversation is failing. Sometimes it's just giving you both space to think or reflect. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest obstacles for many people, shyness. Starting a conversation can feel so intimidating, especially if you're not super confident in your English.
Absolutely. But the important thing to remember is that everyone feels nervous sometimes. Even native speakers can struggle to find the right words or feel awkward.
Exactly. And one strategy to ease the nerves is starting small. You don't need to jump into deep topics right away. Begin with a friendly hi or a compliment like, "I love your jacket, it's such a great color."
Another great tip is to reframe the way you think about conversations. Instead of worrying about saying the perfect thing, focus on being curious about the other person. Think of the conversation as a chance to learn something new, rather than a performance you have to ace.
I love that mindset shift. And practicing regularly helps too. You could start with small, casual interactions, like chatting with a barista or asking someone for directions, and gradually build up your confidence for longer conversations.
Also, it helps to remember that most people are kind and understanding. If you stumble over your words or make a mistake, they're likely to admire your effort rather than judge you.
Here's a challenge many English learners face: understanding different accents or keeping up when someone speaks quickly. It can be so frustrating.
Totally, but this is something you can improve with practice. Start by exposing yourself to as many accents as possible. Podcasts, YouTube videos, and movies are great for this. Exactly. Most people will appreciate your effort to understand and adjust their speech to help.
And don't shy away from asking someone to repeat or slow down if you need it. You can say, "Sorry, I didn't catch that. Could you say it again more slowly?" It shows you're engaged and eager to understand.
Let's do a quick role play. I'll speak a bit too quickly, and you can show how to handle it. So last weekend, I went to this incredible art exhibit, and the colors and creativity were just mind-blowing.
Wow, that sounds amazing. But could you slow down a bit? I want to make sure I don't miss anything.
Sure, I went to an incredible art exhibit last weekend, and it was just mind-blowing.
Got it. Thanks for slowing down. It sounds like such a cool experience.
See? Simple phrases like, "Could you slow down?" or "Can you repeat that?" can help keep the conversation smooth.
Finally, let's tackle cultural differences. This is an area where many people get nervous, especially when they're not sure what's considered polite or normal in another culture.
Definitely. For example, in some cultures, asking personal questions like, "Are you married?" is totally fine, while in others, it might seem intrusive.
Exactly. The best way to handle this is to observe and adapt. If you're not sure about something, ask politely. You can say, "Is it okay if I ask about?" That way, you show respect while satisfying your curiosity.
And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Cultural missteps happen to everyone, even seasoned travelers. Most people will appreciate your effort to connect and will guide you.
Patrick, I couldn't agree more. Embracing these challenges and learning from them makes you not just a better communicator, but also a more empathetic person.
Exactly. Now that we've covered overcoming challenges, it's time to look at how we can elevate your conversations to the next level with advanced tips. Stay tuned.
Welcome back, everyone. Now that we've tackled the basics and addressed common challenges, let's level up. In this section, we're diving into advanced techniques to take your conversations from ordinary to extraordinary.
These aren't just tips for speaking fluently. They're tools for making deeper connections, keeping conversations engaging, and leaving a lasting impression. Shall we get started? First up, active listening. And no, it's not just about hearing what the other person says, it's about fully engaging.
Exactly. Active listening means being present and showing the other person that you value what they're saying. You can do this through verbal cues like, "Oh, really?" or "That's fascinating."
And nonverbal cues are just as important. Nodding, smiling, or even leaning in slightly can signal that you're invested. But it's not just about gestures. Paraphrasing or summarizing what they've said is a game changer.
For instance, if someone shares, "I'm really into photography," you could say, "That's amazing. So you enjoy capturing special moments. What kind of photography do you love most?"
It's like shining a spotlight on their words. When people feel truly heard, the conversation becomes a two-way street rather than just one person talking.
Next on our list, follow-up questions. These are the key to keeping a conversation alive and exciting.
Absolutely. While asking an initial question is great, follow-up questions show that you're genuinely curious. Let's say someone says, "I just got back from Japan." Instead of stopping at, "Oh, cool," ask, "What was the highlight of your trip?" Or, "Did you try any unique foods?"
And here's a pro tip. Tie their answers to something personal. For example, if they mention sushi, you could say, "I've always wanted to try authentic sushi. What's it like compared to what we get here?"
Follow-up questions aren't just about curiosity. They help build rapport and make the conversation feel natural.
It's also a great way to gently steer the conversation into areas you both find interesting, which makes it more enjoyable for everyone.
Another advanced skill is learning to mirror and adapt to someone's conversation style. This is subtle but highly effective.
Totally. Mirroring doesn't mean copying. It's about matching their energy and tone. If someone is soft-spoken and reflective, you don't want to overwhelm them with high energy. On the flip side, if they're animated and enthusiastic, bringing the same energy can make the interaction flow better.
This technique works wonders across cultures too. For example, some cultures favor direct communication, while others lean toward a more indirect style. Adapting shows respect and builds bridges.
And it makes the other person feel understood. Conversations are like a dance. You find the rhythm and move together.
Let's talk about adding value. This is the secret sauce to making conversations memorable. Instead of just agreeing, contribute something meaningful.
For example, if someone says, "I love hiking," you could respond, "Me too. Did you know that hiking has been shown to boost creativity and mental health? I read about it recently."
It's not about showing off, it's about enhancing the discussion. You're giving them something to think about or connect with, which makes the conversation richer.
And remember, even small insights can leave a big impact. It's about quality, not quantity. Storytelling. It's one of the oldest and most powerful ways to connect with others.
Definitely. Everyone loves a good story, and sharing one can make your conversations unforgettable. But there's a trick. Make your stories relatable.
For instance, if someone is talking about travel, you could share a quick story about the time you almost missed a flight or discovered a hidden gem. Keep it short, engaging, and relevant.
The best stories are those that have emotion, whether it's humor, excitement, or even a little vulnerability. They make you more human and relatable.
And practice makes perfect. The more you tell stories, the better you'll get at knowing which ones resonate.
Advanced conversations also require patience. Sometimes giving the other person space to think or share their thoughts is just as powerful as speaking yourself.
Yes, silence can feel awkward, but it's often where the most thoughtful exchanges happen. Don't rush to fill the gaps. Let them process and respond.
It's about creating a comfortable environment where both of you feel at ease. Conversations aren't competitions, they're collaborations.
Finally, let's talk about practice. Like any skill, mastering conversation takes time and effort.
Start small. Chat with a barista, strike up a conversation at a meetup, or even practice with a friend. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
And don't be discouraged by mistakes. Every conversation is a chance to learn and grow.
Remember, even the best conversationalists started somewhere. With dedication, you can become confident and skilled.
Wow, what a journey through the art of conversation. We've covered so much today, from foundational techniques to advanced tips. Let's take a moment to recap some key takeaways.
Absolutely. First, we talked about starting strong, making a great first impression with greetings, open-ended questions, and the importance of a warm smile. Then we dove into overcoming challenges like shyness, language barriers, and those moments when conversations hit a lull.
And finally, we explored advanced strategies, active listening, asking follow-up questions, adapting to conversation styles, adding value, and even the magic of storytelling.
The biggest takeaway? Conversation skills are just that, skills. With practice, patience, and a willingness to learn, anyone can improve.
We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts on today's episode. What are your favorite conversation tips? Do you have any stories of conversations that went unexpectedly great or hilariously wrong?
You can connect with us on social media or leave us a message. And if you found today's episode helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.
Subscribing helps us keep creating content like this for you, and you'll never miss an episode. Plus, sharing this podcast with a friend who could use a boost in their conversation skills is the ultimate compliment to us.
And don't forget to tune in next week. We'll be exploring the world of small talk, how to master those seemingly insignificant exchanges that can lead to big connections.
It's going to be fun and practical, so make sure to join us. Until then, remember, every conversation is an opportunity to connect, learn, and grow.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep the conversations going, and we'll catch you next time on English Talk Podcast.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye for now.